411. The 411. Thank you, guys.
About a story, since we all have stories.
Hey everybody, it's Kayla Got the 411. I am back for another episode of What's Your Story? This is one of my favorite segments, and today we have Brandon Holland. Me and Brandon have met before. He is a great producer out here doing amazing things. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Kayla?
I am doing great. You are a busy man. I feel like once you finish a project, you move on to the next one. I was looking at your Instagram, catching up, and I was like, dang, like you already working on the new premiere, right?
Yeah, I am. I actually have two. I did 3 films. I think 4 since last September. So we're getting ready to release those. So I'm excited. Yeah. No, since last September, I did 4. I did.
That's
2.
still a lot for a year, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. Listen, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful to be working and for all the opportunities that I'm blessed with. But yeah, it's a lot. But it's slower than usual, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think it'd be slower. Before we really begin, you are probably like the first person I've had on this segment that actually works in the movie industry. Too many people on here in music. That's why I'm steering clear of it. Because I really want to know other industries. So how was it during the pandemic? Was it slowing down? Because I'm pretty sure everybody had to abide by the rules.
So during the pandemic, I'm gonna be honest. I followed the rules for a while, and then we just started taking precautions, and we got back to work. We shot a movie during the pandemic. It was called Two's a Couple, Three's a Crowd. We shot a movie during the pandemic. For the most part, everybody was fine. So I was kind of thankful for that, but it was hard. It definitely was a big change from the pandemic to the big strike to just, there's a lot of things that are shaking the industry.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things shaking the industry up. The networks are buying a little bit slower, and so independent creators, it has been a window for us to kind of go a little bit harder. So that's been exciting, but at the same time, it has also slowed down from like investors. Everybody is kind of skeptical about money. Networks are skeptical about spending money right now. So it's very up and down.
So just take me back to Lil Brandon, the young you. Tell me about your early life and how did you even get into this creative space?
Oh, so like when I was younger, I've always just been like just super like over the top and like extra, very animated. And of course, my mom was a writer who was just it was just a hobby for her. So she didn't know what what gifts she'd be passing down to me or my brother. But she is so that's how it started. We started off doing skits at church. My mom writes skits. She was like, okay, y'all gonna act. So I grew up in church.
Yeah.
And, like I literally lived at church like every other day of the week. Choir rehearsal, Bible study.
I sung in the choir. I was a soprano.
I did all of that, and so that's mainly what I did. So like even when, of course, I went to Alabama A&M University. That's when I had a little bit more experience, but I was still just I don't know. I just lived. My parents were very strict, so I didn't get to do much. I had to study and and make good grades and. Yeah, I was the complete opposite of all of the kids that I know. But
yeah, you know what? That makes sense. The fact that you are also in the education field, but you're also a creative as well. I just think that's a great balance when you're able to focus on your studies. Because you're a teacher, so I'm pretty sure you notice those kids that's like so into creativity, but they're slacking in math, they're slacking in science. So I take that wasn't you.
So no, because my parents didn't play that, so I had to make good grades. So all of the extracurricular things, those were okay, but they really wanted us to focus on school. And so what's so funny is and I don't talk about it often. My parents, I had said that I wanted to work in entertainment, so I was going to go to college and do something with like in the field of entertainment or photography, something with a camera, right? My parents didn't think that it was like a secure living, so they made me go into something that would kind of guarantee me like a job. So I went into education, but I wanted to go into like do something with a camera and learn camera work like years ago when I was 18.
Well, look how it worked out, right? You got that degree and you still able to pick up that camera. Like, come on now, look at God.
Yeah, they kind of worked out in my favor because I surely just, if the truth moment, it's just, you think that had I started younger, would I be much further? Things like that. But I am thankful. I have been very, very blessed to have started late.
I'll tell you from personal experience as a dummy that went to school for something in arts, you did what was right.
Okay.
Because one thing I learned, and I've even told my daughter now, she's 11, is that you're creative. That's just naturally who you are, right? But when you're able to actually go to college and learn something new, oh man, it just opens up your mind. And when you're able to do both, I just think that's just such a blessing that, parents know best. And that actually leads into my next question about what inspired your earlier creative inspiration. And you brought up your mom. So I take it your mom was a big role model in your life growing up.
Yeah, so both of my parents were there growing up. My mom, I say that she was definitely inspiration to the writing piece of it. I always thought like her writings were kind of creative and fun, but I didn't know anything about writing. I wasn't in that mind space as a kid. I was acting and it was just fun. So my mom let me play the funny parts. I remember my first character, I was playing like a homeless man or something, but it was so fun to like just act silly or whatever. I was right in my element, but I never explored acting. For some reason, people find it hard to believe that I have stage fright. I've always been in front of people. I've always sang and did things in front of people, but I have like terrible stage fright. So I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I've been presented many opportunities to be in front of the camera. And I just now at age 40 decided that I was going, I'll give it a try.
I was just about to ask, like, you mean to tell me all these movies you never jumped in and be like, come on, Tyler Perry done jumped in there.
I was not, listen. So that's what kind of gave me the inspiration to want to do it a little bit more. I was like, if I do acting that, I'll do my own stuff. That's kind of like what I was thinking. But I have kind of been adventuring out just to kind of see what's out there a little bit, just to kind of see if that's something that I would like to explore more. So I did a series recently with Omega Keys. It's called Donors. So I played a vampire. So that was like really fun. I did a movie Wrong Place, Wrong Time where I played a legal secretary for a law firm. So it's a thriller. Yeah. And I'm playing the lead in my first series right now. The series is called This Guy. It's a show that I actually created, and I'm actually playing the lead for the first time in my own series.
Is it already out, or you already?
It's not. So it's not already out. We just shot the pilot, and we're gearing up to shoot the rest of the season. But we finished the pilot this summer, so I'm going to be shopping it around to festivals, and hopefully I'll be premiering at least the pilot soon.
Oh yay! Best of luck with that. As someone who I feel like I'm a creative as well, I want to ask you a question from creative to creative.
Okay.
Do you not trust other people with your vision? Like that if you gonna do it, it's gonna be to the best of the best. Do you feel that way as a creative? Like you said that you waited until it was your project to actually get in front of the camera. Was it because you know that you putting it together, directing it, it was going to be popping?
So after I'm not gonna say it's popping because I created it, but after the meeting with the writing team about the series and getting those things to go on, I think that I don't see anybody else who probably could have done it better. And so sometimes we are our best choice. And so, of course, being a creative, it definitely causes us to branch out and do things that we don't want to do all the time. But sometimes we are the best person for it. So, to answer your question, I'm going to say yeah.
And I think for your first time as well, it seemed like it was like best, because it's your project. It's something that you can be proud of and just say, okay, when I first got in front of the camera, it was something that I did. Now, I know that you did lose both of your parents. So how did that, by you losing them, how did that push you to write your first book, Living with Half a Heart? First of all, that's a great title as well.
Thank you. Man. So when you're young, you have these, you have goals and dreams and visions that like any other child has. And so a part of those things is definitely not planning to lose your parents. Especially like at age 19. My brother's 4 years younger than me. So we were like very young. We had a lot of supportive family, the best of their ability, right? Because whether you say when your parents die like a year and a half apart, but the book came about, it was just something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to open all those wounds. There's so many things that the book deal with from childhood to adult. Just talking about my journey, and the passing of my parents was definitely a space for me to get into releasing my ideas through writing. Of course, I've gone through therapy and I've had spiritual counseling and just all of those things that it takes to really be this whole person. Because for me, that's something that I've always just desired. Like, I don't want people feeling sorry for me. I don't need pity. I just want to work hard. I want an opportunity to show people that, you don't have to feel sorry for me. I'm talented. I don't need the pity. And so those are the things that I kind of write about, just kind of talk about my journey. And even some of the experiences that I had with family and friends and different things like that when we went through those things. So it was just, I just felt like I was in a world by myself. So the title Living with Half a Heart just kind of took me to the space of, like, it feels like a part of you is ripped out once you lose anybody, right, that we love. And then it happened in like back to back. It's just like, how do I take this and create this positive message and give people hope regardless of what seems like a dead situation or what seems like an impossible situation. And I feel like I have constantly been in those type of situations. So I have learned to just manage and deal with a lot at a very young age since I was 18. So that's what inspired the book. So I'm just, I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to finally tell my story. And then the pandemic hit, because I was doing a small book tour. Then the pandemic.
Yeah, I heard about that. So did that kind of damper you getting your book to everyone, or did you just market it digitally?
I went to marketing it digitally as best as I could, but it was just I think everybody had kind of got into the idea of like meeting and greeting and like signing and different things like that. So I think people like didn't have the same interest as they did when they thought that I was coming to their city or whatever like that. But I did get a lot of support, so I'm very, very thankful for that.
That's one of those things for younger kids. I don't think adults really understand how death affects kids. I definitely understand that, losing my grandmother. And I just don't think, I think after the funeral, that's when it really sets in, and it seems like sometimes everybody else just goes back to their life, but you're still dealing with it,
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
So I think by you having a book like this, it kind of like lets people know, like, it's okay, even if you're not okay, like it's okay if you're not okay. And to definitely check in on children. And even if you're a teenager, like if they say they okay, are you sure they're okay?
Yeah, and I think that, and I don't fault my family or blame them or anything like that. They should have put us in counseling much younger, but they didn't really know what to do.
Yeah,
It was just so unexpected, and then it happened so quick and back to back. So I felt like we should have did it much younger, but my brother and I both, because it's just two of us, have been in counseling, and my brother's wrote his first book. It's called Hurt by My Destiny. So we both wrote books from our own perspective of things. So it's just, so I'm thankful. I'm not, it's sad, it hurts, and then we have moments, right? But the way our parents were, okay, you better find something to do with that sadness. Change somebody else's life with it, because you still have purpose. So figure it out and get it done. So it was just kind of like that. And it gives you this joy and brings you this peace knowing that we're continuing their legacy.
Yes, by writing. Come on now. Oh God. And you know what? I feel like for you and your brother being two men, I think it's just really important and to just bring up therapy, because therapy was kind of tasked, especially us with the church. If you got a problem, you pray, you pray about it.
You pray and shout and let them lay hands on you, which I did all of that.
But sometimes having somebody who is an expert to listen, I think that is a great option for anyone out there, no matter your age or your race. So, with you being in production and also an actor now, and you are an educator, how do you balance all this, Brandon?
God, Kayla. So literally, like, I got home at 5 o'clock today from work, and I was like, "Oh, I got an interview at 6." I mean, I'm trying to shower, trying to get ready, and then I was like, so it's nonstop. I'm thankful for it. I will be honest. There is a lot of sacrificing in it. Sometimes I miss a lot of events that friends want me to attend. I can't always participate. Like this weekend is my college homecoming, and I wasn't gonna go because I'm supposed to film this weekend. So, but that's important to me. So you see how you have to, like, when I say sacrifice, the sacrifices are huge.
Yeah.
So people don't know the kind of sacrifices you make. They just think it's easy. Like, it makes me emotional to even talk about it because, for example, like, I miss my godson's christening. You know, it hurt. So it's just like you have, but then his first birthday came and Christmas, his first Christmas. So, and I was there for those things. So it's kind of like you have to, find a balance within the things you have going on. And I tell people, like, I was like, the reason why I don't have time to do all this because I'm single and I don't date. I'm not dating anybody. So
I'm telling you something. When you single,
I focus, go to work.
I love that. As somebody I feel like when you are single and you really hustling, I just always, oh my God, I love the fact that you said that, Brandon. Like, you getting your money, you focusing on you, and when the right person comes along, like,
I'm open to it 100. Yeah, I'm open to that 100%. I'm not interested in anybody. I'm looking at nobody, and I'm not saying I don't have conversations, etc. Right, but my focus really is work. I have so many goals that I want to accomplish. And, I'm very thankful. I thank God that I've been able to check off a lot of things that I've set my foot out to do. But there are a lot of things that I still want to do. So I have a ways to go, and so I don't have to have all the distractions. So that's my sacrifice. So I literally leave work, then I go back to work because I'm doing production all evening. Then I go back to
work. Outlook on it as well too. And you don't have any kids, right?
I don't have any kids that I know of.
Okay, that's
I don't have any kids.
I've been after you on Murray.
Man, what? I mean, running backstage crying. Like,
this
what?
is the perfect time for you. And I just feel like it's no age on being a parent. I just think this is the perfect time for you to be selfish with you.
Yeah.
Like, you being selfish with you, getting your business, getting your brand. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And it seems like you have a good handle on it as well. Like, you have everything scheduled. Like, you wasn't late. Like, you seem like you are managing it well because a lot of people they cannot handle doing multiple things. It's too much for them. And that's okay as well too. But I think you have a great way of managing it. Now we're going to lead into Molding Heartz Productions. What type of stories are you aiming to tell through your films? What do you want the viewer that's watching, what do you want them to gain from any of your productions?
So I named my company Molding Heartz because I started off doing stage plays. Around 2009, I did stage plays, and I used to say that I want people's hearts to be changed when they attend to my productions. Like, I want it to be something that grabs their heart, that draws them in, that brings them in. So that's how I ultimately came up with the title, because we started with the gospel stage plays type stories. And then I started getting into real stories. Like, we did a monologue series called The Bobby Pin Diaries, which was my version of vagina monologues. And it was just like a female genre where we could hear female stories, and we would bring a lot of women to the shows, and we would talk about every type of woman. So I started moving away from the church stuff. My crowd started to change. And over time, ultimately, I just want to tell stories that make people think, that make people that are thought provoking. I used to, a lot of my stories and have but I don't want to give away my formula, but I would just say a lot of my stories, they kind of promote men. And I say that because a lot of stories, especially when we talk about like dramatic series or movies and things like that, it's always like the female. It's we always see the positive from the female. But sometimes I usually try to do male positive stories. But I'm really into psycho thrillers. I started off doing those, but I got away from it. Gotten into erotic stories, which I really love. That kind of makes people,
It seems like you're not put in a box. It seems like you're just a creative who just wants to tell stories.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that.
That's my goal. I really just want to tell stories. I don't have like a certain genre because I feel like if I really had to choose Kayla, I would tell religious stories and sex stories. That would be my two genres if I had to pick.
You know what? A network would really love somebody like you because they know that you could produce 2 to 3 shows in different genres. You know,
Easy.
I think easy, easy. You're not just the guy that does the political sitcoms or the witty romance comedies. Like you can do anything. You probably can do sci-fi, everything.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have been asking me a lot more about. So I've honestly just been kind of watching and just kind of learning a little bit more about it. Okay, Kayla, you're gonna laugh at this, right? So because I grew up in the church, I'm really not that fond of like demon movies, vampires.
Oh
yeah. And so it's been like me trying to get out of that religious tradition. But it's just certain things I just don't.
You know what? That's my go-to TV show. That's my go-to. If you want me to send you a list of shows for recommendation, I got them down. I either watch cheesy comedy shows or vampires eating people. So if you need some recommendations, I'll send you an email with.
Listen. So I'm just saying that there's I'm open to do more genres, but I haven't done them because I just traditionally would stay away from those things. But I'm open to it. I just haven't had an opportunity to do it. Like I said, I played a vampire. So that was very unexpected.
Boundaries, because I feel like in this industry, with everything's going on, like, once you have something in your heart that you're not comfortable with and you go ahead and do it, then all of a sudden something come along again and you're not comfortable with it, and something again. And before you know, you don't even know who the hell you is, So I think it's really good that you are sticking to what's close to you and your faith. Now, what type of this is the way we leading into these questions is perfect. What are some challenges that you face daily in your career in this media entertainment world?
Straight up money. The only challenge is money. Okay. Yeah. And I always tell people, even every interview I go, I end up saying I'm not gonna preach, but I be preaching because that's what I know, right? So I always
it's important. They really be tripping.
Let me answer it to all things. That's what the Bible says. It said the love of money is the root of all evil. Money answereth all things. So I can't answer nothing with no money. I just need money. Okay. Yeah. But my true challenge is my true challenge is not be able to create the way that I want to right now. Yeah. And I say that meaning like you can have these great and big ideas, but if you don't have the funding that you need to kind of do those things, sometimes it limits you, or it makes you get really creative and figure out a way to get it done without the money, right? Yeah. So my greatest challenge is remaining creative and continuing to love the art when I feel like my hands are tied and I can't create the way that I want to, because it creates all types of emotional roller coasters when you get to that place. So, and this year has been very challenging. So I know.
You know what? I think it's always great for any creative to mention money, because I think people just think that we just doing this for fun. Like I be telling people, like, you see these lights in here?
Yeah.
It takes money. I can't call the electric company and be like, you know what? I need my lights on because I'm writing something. They don't care about that. They're still gonna turn it off. Right. So I think people just don't respect the creators. And I think one of the biggest lessons, especially what we seen with the strike that happened with the longshoremen, I think if a lot of creatives just stop creating and don't give nobody nothing to watch, don't give them nothing to listen to, then people will really start, respecting it. Don't give them any type of entertainment.
Yeah, I agree.
So, don't get them no type of new entertainment. And I think more people will start appreciating it. Yeah. Now, directors like Tyler Perry and Spike Lee, they both have started off being independent like yourself. So how do you see your own journey in comparison to theirs? And what do you think it takes to break through and create a lasting impact when it comes to independent filmmaking?
That's a good one. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say that I don't necessarily compare my career to theirs, but their career had. I respect them both, Spike, Tyler, Issa, Ava, and not just Black ones, but I love what they've all done. And I represent it all in their own way. But I appreciate, honestly, it gives me hope.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like that I'll be able to obtain that is maybe something attainable, like hearing their stories, hearing where they come from, knowing where they started. Like there have been shows where I've not had so great shows, and there have been shows that I've sold out. There's movies that have done well, have not done so well. And as it relates to like just the creative in general, I'm just hoping that I continue to create a name and a brand for myself where I get to the point where I do become a household name. And so that's ultimately my goal. And so to see those great trailblazers in the industry do those things already, it gives me hope. It's discouraging sometimes, I ain't gonna lie. Every time I see them get a deal, I'm just like, that's why we can't get one. Not that I don't want nobody else to have one. Not that I don't want to have it. I don't, but I'm just like, sometimes it gives you hope, and then sometimes it discourages you. And that's not being honest.
Yeah, I think, there's so many creatives today where those kind of stories of, this person, they had to sleep in their car, this person right here, they had to, people that did work for them, the first big movie, they didn't even get paid much. I think those type of stories really inspire people. They're like, okay, just when you think you're about to just give up, that next project you put out, that was the one,
Yeah.
So I think being an independent, in my opinion, I feel like being independent kind of makes you appreciate it more, like
absolutely, it does.
Just having, and also building that support base. I'm pretty sure you have like people that watch all your movies, okay? Everything that you do, you post on Facebook, they are excited. That's your core people. And one thing about people, I feel like when it comes to those spiritual or people that's in church, they really love meaningful productions, like ones that have a story with a positive income, outcome, like, what I'm talking about? Like the ending, like make you cry. Like you just gotta stand up and be like, wow, man, that was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's one thing I had to learn too. I've learned that people are going to be critical. And so I'm extremely hard on myself. But what I have learned is that no matter how great it is, somebody's going to find something wrong with it. And that's the space that I had to grow out of. That is so hard. Because when you put your all into something and you feel like it's great and you've done your part and maybe everybody didn't do that part or something didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. And then it all falls back on you. It's just like, this is not what I intended, or this is what I intended. So, it can go either way. But like I said, it's definitely not a walk through the park. Everybody does just see the glitz and glamour, and I'm just like, this is not an easy life, y'all. It's not. I don't just wake up and decide I want to put a movie on there. There's processes that I have to go through. And so it's a challenge. But I definitely, when I hear those, when I'm still thinking about like Tyler and Spike, like I watched Tyler Perry's documentary. And I was just thinking about like the things that people have said about me, like when things are not being perfect with my productions. And I'm just like, they talk about Tyler all the time. And I'm just like, it doesn't mean, that there isn't, that this isn't a gift from God, and that, that it's still not blessed, or that some people didn't love it or like it. And so it's just like blocking out the negative when it comes to like doing things, and just remembering that there are people who have billions of dollars or who have millions of dollars for budgets that you don't have. And they're having the same complaints about them they're having about you. So that's how I remember it. Yeah.
That's a good point as well, too. And lead to my next question as well. Like I was going to ask you, like, what type of advice would you give anybody else that's like maybe they're working on their first production and they're sent it to a few people that I don't like it. They have a lot of complaints, or somebody maybe put out some music that they just did for the first time and people don't like it. What advice would you give them if they came to you and said, Brandon, you know what? People not really receiving it the way I thought they would. Like, what should I do?
So self-evaluation is so important. One of my business partners, he'll tell you, I get on his nerve. Like I constantly am evaluating. What can we do better? How can we do different? I think self-evaluation is the first step. But you have to be truthful and honest with yourself. What can you do better? Even though you thought a product was great, okay, what can you do better next time? You know what I'm saying? How can you communicate better? How can you create better visuals? Who can you work with different? Use a different photographer. What about marketing? What about branding? Every area, I literally go through and just see like, what can I do different? What can I do better? So that each time I'm getting better and better. I never just want to be, I think people get complacent. They get comfortable and they feel like because, oh, well, they already watch, they already follow me, so I'm good, so so they don't challenge themselves to do things that are much at a much better level or do things that are better than what they've already been doing. So that, I mean, that my advice to anybody, when you first get into this, don't compare yourself to others. Be your own self, be your true authentic self, and continue to get better and take it day by day. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a budget to create like whoever, take your cell phone. The goal is to get the work out. If it's music, if it's movies, if it's your podcast, whatever it is, the goal is to get the work done. And yeah, I know I'm not perfect. I know I haven't done anything perfect, but the difference between me and others is that I'm consistent and I get the work out.
And you haven't gave up on you. Come on, man.
Yeah, we got to. Listen, we got to stick to it. So I just say, listen, yeah, stick to it. Listen, and just be the best version of yourself. And that's the only way that because people quit because they see other people doing things and compare themselves like they should. I hear actors all the time say, "Oh, I know I could have did it if they did it." No, you couldn't have. That's why you didn't get it. So we just have to be careful with that because whatever path is, that's the path we'll be on.
I like to tell people, you can't get no business done if you minding everybody else's business.
I had to tell a coworker that today, baby.
Okay. Now, I'm big on manifesting things, but I'm also feel like you shouldn't tell everybody everything that you got going on. Got to block out those evil eyes. But just tell us, where do you see Molding Heartz Productions like heading in the next few years? Now, I did tell us some big projects, but don't tell us yet. Just tell us like a little bit, like a little snippet of what do you see for yourself in the future.
Okay. In the future, Molding Heartz will be a production house. We will outsource films, scripted series, unscripted content, which is my favorite, and which people don't know that. And I've worked on a lot of, I have worked and shopped and worked on a lot of reality TV shows off record. And so ultimately, like the end goal is to become the production house that produce all these types of productions and have these relationships with different networks where we're producing the content for them. That's ultimately my goal in Heartz. And so I'm on the path to doing that. I've done the films. I'm just now getting to scripted. And I've written several reality shows. So the next goal is to get more into unscripted TV.
Now you're still in Atlanta, right?
I am. I'm based in Atlanta.
That's perfect. I feel like here is just like for us, us Black folks. I just feel like it's just so much easier here. I hear so many stories from people in California, and they just always say it's hard. They have a story and they go there, and people want to change the vision that they have for it. Do you feel like that? Because you are the one that's in this.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I literally was telling that story. That was the production that they wanted me to add some things to that I wasn't comfortable with. So we walked away from the deal before. So that's constant. Yeah. So it's definitely being true to yourself. You got to have some kind of standards.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's just like, look, money is everything, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's not everything.
Especially as a creative. I just feel like, I don't know about you, but I know for me, I just don't. It's like when somebody just mess up your creativity, it just don't make you feel like you. You feel like somebody else, almost like an out of body experience. Also, before I move to the next question, I really want to know: have you ever experienced having a writer's block as a creative, where you just couldn't create nothing?
I'm gonna say writer's block, partner with procrastination, because that kind of can go hand in hand sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm writing something out, I'm getting ready to write something, I really have to have all of my thoughts before I can start writing, because I'll just be blocked the whole time. And most of the time when I write, my process is like if you tell me an idea today, I'm literally gonna think of it a couple of weeks, and every time I think of you, I'm gonna think of that idea. And then I'm going to think of more things that we can add to it. And then once I get to the space where I feel like I have collectively had the idea, I either jot down notes randomly or, but by the time I get to the point where I'm ready to write, I literally have everything that I want to say. And I just literally would write the whole thing just right back to back because it's just easier for me. But yes, I have writer's block, but that means I just delay the process before I even start. Because that means if I feel like I have it and I'm not in a creative space, I don't even waste my time writing because I'm not gonna get anything done.
Let me tell you something. A person that is very self-aware of who they are, like they're untouchable, and I just get that from you. So I just love the fact that you know you so well. Like you already know like what you need to do, and what you don't need to do. Like you're like, I'm not even gonna go ahead and start writing because I know me.
I'm not gonna waste my time. I know I'm not in that space. I'm gonna try it on Sunday.
Now, I know we talked a lot about the media entertainment part of your career, but you are an educator and you are around children daily. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to the youth today that you wish you would have gotten when you were a kid?
I think that, and this goes with my philosophy. I think that that all children are great at something. We're all great at something.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it's not math, just because it's not science, it's not English, does not mean that you're not great. It does not mean that you won't be great in life. And it doesn't mean that you have to take the same path as your peers and things like that. But ultimately, whatever it is that you're great at, I highly suggest to my students all the time, find out early, what do you want to do? And that's what I do pretty much as a career coach. And working in the business and technology department. It's just like encouraging students to find something that they are good at. And whatever it is, like I ask the students, like, what do they want to be when they grow up and things like that. And, you know, they'll say like 3 or 4 things. And I was just like, at this age, all of us are doing 3 or 4 things. And that's like, I wish somebody had me to explore all of those things when I was younger, because I feel like, you know, I feel like that's how the wealthy, like when we talk about multiple streams of income, those things come from being knowledgeable in multiple areas. And so I just encourage the kids, like whatever it is that they want to do, to start young. Even if they don't know what they want to do, to start researching things that they like and learn more about it. And so that's what I do in the career field of education. So it's just like I always just say, look, I don't want to ride by you guys in 10 years. I got to put a quarter in your hat, you know, as a joke. But, you know, I want them to, I feel like the earlier you start, because I knew in 9th grade when I wanted to go to college. And my family will tell you, my friends will all tell you, they will all look at me crazy. When I was in 9th grade and I said, I'm going to Alabama A&M University. And that was because I had went to a football game and I saw like the band. And I said, that's where I'm going to college at. And I went to college there. So it's just, you know, the earlier you start, I just feel like ultimately like that you're going to end up there if you really work towards it. So you just got to get people that encourage that.
I love that because I feel like even as a kid now, I have a middle schooler who just entered 6th grade, and she just started taking photography at school. But she likes multiple things as well, and I think that's okay. I feel like, you know, as kids, like you're a kid now, before you know it, you graduate. Like it comes by fast. So just even having that idea and you encouraging the youth to like figure out what it is that you like and just start working on it now. You know, I think that's great. That's the best advice I think you can give. First of all, the way these bills is these days.
Listen to me. I need all 7 streams and 3 of somebody else.
They better start thinking about it now. Now we are at the end of the segment, and this is my favorite part since the segment is called "What's Your Story?" Reflecting back on your journey. If you had to name your biography, what would it be?
I actually already have a title. I would call it "Why God."
Oh,
and that just goes with. I won't tell too much, but I was just gonna say that people always teach that you shouldn't question God, and I just feel like I have some questions for him, especially after all of the things that I kind of endured, like as a young man up until the age that I am now. I just feel like, well, if I can't ask God, then who can I ask? So I feel like I would call it "Why God." I would. When I finally finish writing it, I think it's gonna be a hit. But I've already started thinking about it.
from you to me, as somebody that's been on her spiritual journey since I was 29, I've learned that talking to God is really important, and even asking him why this. It's okay to like ask God why. It's okay to ask God for help. And I think that title is very empowering. I'm pretty sure a few church people are gonna be like, oh. I'm pretty sure they're gonna clutch the
I'm coming for
applause.
him. I'm coming for him.
But I feel like as somebody who truly, truly believes in God, you know how important it is to really talk to him. Like not just talk to him when things are going good, but just talking to him. So I love that title. First, come on now. I love it. I love that. So we are at the end. Brandon, I want to thank you so much for being on the What's Your Story segment. So I want you to just go ahead and tell us where we can find you on social media. And I know you have a new project coming out. So tell us where that's going to be streaming at so we can all check it out.
Okay. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Brandon_the director. You can also follow me at Molding Heartz TV, and it's Molding Heartz Productions on Facebook. It's Brandon the director on Twitter, and I do have three projects coming, but I have two that are going to be released tentatively on November the 11th. The Vegan Virgin, starring Leslie Cherie, Alexis Branch, Dory, and oh my God, I'm forgetting somebody. Damian Flagler is also a part of that, and I feel like I'm forgetting one of the ladies. But anyway, so also starting Jeff Cutts. That's the Vegan Virgin, and then we also, I'm sorry, Palin. That's my other girl. Sorry, I love you, Palin. And we also have the Junkies coming on November the 11th. Starring Christian Davis and Lord, I can't think of the boy name. Sorry, Carly Owens. I forgot everybody's name. They're gonna kill me.
Tell him to watch this and put his name in the comments. Okay?
His name is Carly Got. It's called Carly and Christian Davis. They are the leads. The Junkies. The Junkies is scheduled to be streaming on November the 11th, and it's gonna be on all of the main streaming platforms.
Okay, so Prime is gonna be on Tubi.
It should be on Prime. It should be on Tubi. Awesome, Xfinity, potentially Google Play, and like they'll send us a list on some movies.
Operated.
So I'm just waiting to they send me the list, and then I'll be able to share more about it.
I love that.
I've been thinking about having a premiere, but because I don't know the premiere date, I can't put it out yet. But it will be on my social media platform. So if you guys follow me at Brandon _the director, you will see the post when we make it.